Hi everyone, just wanted to do a quick intro. This is the painting that you'll be seeing me do today in this video. I used the Piñata brass and Ranger Denim are the only two things I used in this one. I did this one on translucent yupo. I'm sure somebody's got a brilliant idea for how this could be used, but for me, I don't really care. It was just on sale, so I got a pack of it. You can kind of see, I think, see my hand in there? Yeah, a little bit. Anyway, you know, I'm not sure if there's a practical use for the translucency for alcohol inks. You know, there might be a way you could put another one behind it, might come up with something cool looking like that, but it's not very not really translucent enough, I think, to make it usable for that. You can kind of see it would be, you know, something sort of like that. You put another one behind it. But it's yupo, it worked, and it was on sale. All right, the denim is another one of those colors that on yupo especially, that really breaks up. Really, you get a lot of this kind of pink color. Make sure that you're seeing this. A whole lot of this kind of pink color that comes off of the blue. You know, got a lot of staining of the blue in here like normal when I use yupo, and one of these colors that does that. Let me apologize too for, I think it was the last video I did. I can't remember which painting I was doing, but I tried to do a real-time video and, you know, talk while I was doing it, and I know that you guys were having a really hard time hearing me over the dryer. So I'm probably not going to do that anymore. It's a little bit easier for me to do it that way rather than doing a voiceover because, you know, as I'm doing things, obviously I'm thinking of things that I want to say. Then I go back to do the voiceover and I forget to mention it when I'm doing the voiceover. So, but I'm going to keep on, I think, doing the voiceovers. I don't know how to do a setup where you can hear my voice better over the sound of the hairdryer. And especially because when I'm working, I'm generally looking down, and so that puts my voice even farther from, you know, the microphone area, or, well, the microphone on my phone. Let's see, I think that was about all I needed to say on this one. I just want to thank you guys again for watching these videos, for subscribing and clicking like. I'm kind of in awe. I'm amazed that you guys actually want to watch these videos, because I feel like all the others that I've watched out there are so much better and so much more, I don't know, I feel like they're a lot better at what they do, but their videos are better, much more professionally done. You're getting my cheapo, yes, I've never made videos before version of alcohol ink tutorials. So, all right, well, I will go ahead and let you guys sit back and watch this video, and you can let me know what you think, and I'll see you at the end. Okay, I keep forgetting to mention in most of these videos that right now I'm using 91% alcohol. I do have some 99 that I tried, and I really do like it. It might work a little bit better than the 91%, but 91 works just fine too. And the 91 I found in a couple of different pharmacies. I have not found the 99 anywhere but online, so maybe you're lucky enough to live near a pharmacy that carries it, but you can order it off of Amazon if you have Amazon, if you can order from Amazon if you're in a different country than the US. Or, maybe just ask. A pharmacist might be able to order it for you. All right, so like I said, I started out with just the denim color on this one. And you'll notice with the translucent yupo that I'm using, you can see my little drip sheet that I have underneath this. The colors are showing through where I have little spots of color underneath. I did speed this video up just a tiny bit, just to try and keep it from being too long. This one, is no prize winner for a painting for me, so I wasn't all that, I don't know, interested in dragging it out, I guess, for you guys to see. I wasn't really doing much of anything at all new that you haven't seen in my other videos. If you haven't seen my other videos, just go to my page and my channel and you'll find them there. It's just under Lorrie Brewer. I didn't really have a specific shape in mind when I started this, and I have this tendency to go back to the same kind of few shapes every now and then, and this is one of them, just kind of L shape along the edges of the paper. I'm not sure why. Wonder if there's a psychological reason for that. It's either that or sort of an offset kind of diagonal line. It seems like most of my stuff ends up in. So there you just see me blowing the ink out, and I did go a little heavy on the ink with this one. The yupo soaks up so much of the ink almost instantly as you put it down that it becomes a very light color. Whatever whichever color is coming off of it, here it's the pink. It's really light. And I didn't want it to be too super, super light. So I had added, probably at least 3 or 4 drops of the denim every time you see me put ink down, until I go to put the metallic down. And then I tried to just use 1 drop at a time. Or actually, I think on this one, I did it sort of in a line. I think I did 3 or 4 drops in a row in places on this one. Well, we'll see when we get there, because I can't remember at the moment. You see, I start trying to, see, I'm picking a fuzz out of the painting. Trying to push everything back in to where I have sort of a center dark line going down through there, which that's my preference. I just like that look. If you don't, all you got to do is keep it spread out a little bit more and you won't get as much of that dark line. Or you could actually probably go in with some ink, which I actually do occasionally. If I've got a spot that I feel like is just too dark or too big, I'll go in and put some ink in the center. Here I'm soaking up some of those little water droplets that sometimes separate out of it, sometimes from the humidity in the air. That seems to make a difference. I had heard that the 99% alcohol doesn't do that, but it did do that to me. So, and certain inks or certain colors are much more likely to do this than others, and denim is one of those colors. Trying to remember, there's one of the reds. So there might be a couple of the reds that are really bad to do that, but I can't remember what they are now. Might be cranberry. Sorry, I was trying to look at my ink bottles real quick to remind myself, but I can't remember which ones it was now. Yes, and that had reminded me of something else I was going to say, and it went right out of my head. I'm good for that. Sorry, any of you who are new to watching my videos. I have a tendency to lose my train of thought occasionally. Right, and you see how I try to come in not just from the edge, but also on the sides of my ink and alcohol puddle too, because that gives you more of those little folds and lines that you want in there. If you don't only just go back and forth, but kind of hit it from the sides too. Just when you get up to the top part of wherever you're working, you can either continue to stretch it on out with alcohol to the edge, or if you want to put another drop of ink on there, if you feel like it's getting a little too light, or you want to extend that out a little bit farther, just go ahead and throw down another drop of ink with a little alcohol and spread it on out. One thing I haven't talked about at all is the alcohol blending solution. I have used that. I do not feel like it is worth the money that stuff costs. Excuse me. I use a lot of alcohol in my paintings. I would use, on some paintings, I seriously could probably use the entire bottle on one painting. Probably the best I could do would be to get 2 paintings out of a bottle of alcohol blending solution. If it helps you, if it works better for you, awesome, go for it. For me, I just have found that just the straight alcohol works just as well. Now, the only difference is if you want to use any of the mixatives like Pearl, what's it called? I've got all of my mixatives put somewhere else. But any of the, I don't know about other brands, but with the Tim Holtz Ranger brands, if you use any of the Pearl colors, and there's a white one, a minute, I'll just dig it out for you. Oh, okay. Well, it's just called Pearl. That makes it easy. And I'm not sure about the Snowcat because I haven't actually used it yet. I've had it since I first started doing this. I don't know, 2.5 months ago. It was one of the first inks that I got, and I haven't even used it yet. Now, if you put down the Pearl and put alcohol on it, it won't go anywhere. It just clumps up. If you put the alcohol down first and then put the Pearl on it, it still just clumps up. At least that has been my experience. There might be a way to do it where it works better, but for me, I could not get it to work. I don't like the pearls. They're beautiful. I love them. Of course, I had to buy them when they came out, but I have not figured out a good way to use them in the style of painting that I like to do the most. So if I ever figure out a way to get those to work, then I will definitely do a tutorial on them. All right, so you see here I went back and started going over the center again with some more ink and some of the Piñata brass. It just was too light. I wanted my center darker than what it had turned out, so I decided to just add a little more in there. I think you'll see here in a little bit, I over blended on this. I had not really planned on going back over this a whole lot, but the dark, I felt like it had just spread out so far. I lost all of the wispy parts at the edges, or lost most of them. So I did go back over and try and spread out the edges a little bit, And as I did that, I lost most of my gold or brass. It just kind of blended in, into the ink and turned it kind of a dark color. Excuse me. Which that'll happen sometimes. It's really best to wait until, well, in my experience, for me personally, it has been best to do the metallics as one of the very last things that I do. Whether I'm just going to put it in the middle and blow it around, or if I'm going to put it on the edge and bring it in so that I get a little more of a line with it. I still do much better with it if it's one of the last things that I do. I always end up, it looks kind of neat because I end up getting this, kind of shimmery metallic look here and there in my painting that's whatever color the ink is that it mixed in with it. And sometimes you'll just get this kind of little bit of super fine glitter look to parts of your painting. But if you want that held together, chunky, super shiny gold look, then wait until near the end to do it, or else once you do that section, try not to do much more to it. I really am not sure what possessed me to do the denim on this one, because it's one of those colors, for me, it's hard to work with on yupo. I really don't know why. I just have, every time I've done a painting using denim, I have not been really happy with it. I feel like it's too light if I don't use a lot of it, and when I use a lot of it, it's too dark. So this one, it felt too clumpy, I guess, to me. The painting didn't seem to flow really well for me. It's just kind of clumpy, like I said. Sorry, I had to run and close the door. I was hearing cartoons from the other room. The girls are in there watching TV. You guys let me know if there's a particular area that you're having trouble with. I will be happy to try to help you. I'm so sorry if you're watching this video. I cannot remember who it was right now. Someone had mentioned to me one time that they were having trouble with the, I think it was their initial puddle that they laid down, that it wasn't blending well. And I didn't really understand that question, but I've been thinking about it a lot, trying to figure out what that possibly could mean. Now, if you were using photo paper and your ink's not blending, check and make sure that you're using the back side. That absolutely will stop your ink from blending if you put it on the front side, since that front side is made to absorb ink. Because as it runs through a printer, you want it to dry quickly so your ink doesn't have as good a chance of smudging, so it kind of soaks it in and stops it from going anywhere. Make sure you're using the back side. Another thing that I thought that this person might have meant is, a lot of times, as you push your ink back in, you do kind of get this hot mess in the center of the painting. It can be kind of hard to make that line, or a small area that's darker. You just end up with a bunch of little squiggly lines, and it just kind of looks crazy in there. And I do have that happen to me too. And when that does happen, if I'm going to put some metallic in the center, I don't really worry about it that much because that's going to kind of hide it and fix it a little bit when you put the metallic in. If I'm not putting metallic in over it, just usually 1 to 2 drops at a time of alcohol in that part, right in the middle of the dark part that's all squiggly and yucky looking that you want to try and fix. If you can't blow it out. If you can blow it out to the edges, and wisp it out, do. Or if you don't want to mess up what you've already done because it looks fantastic, just a drop or 2 in the center and, kind of gently move it around right there, and it'll reactivate those inks in the middle so that you can kind of get a better, a smoother look. And occasionally I'll take a little tool that I have that's got a rounded end on it, and we'll just tap it in there after I put the ink or the alcohol back on, so that it helps kind of blend it together a little bit more. I'll just tap it a little with the back end of this, whatever little rounded anything you have. The back end of a paintbrush works good. Tap it in and then just kind of hit it with the dryer for just a second to smooth it back down again. And that tends to work really well. You don't want all of it gone, but there are times when it's just a hot mess and you got to do something with it. So that's what's worked best for me. And if that hasn't answered your question, whoever it was, I'm so sorry. I should have looked back to make sure. Then try and let me know, and I'll see if I've got an answer for you for whatever it is, if I haven't hit on that subject yet. I'm always happy to answer questions for you guys, anything you might want to know. If I have an answer, then I will definitely try to let you know. As I've said in a couple of my other videos, I think I'm still fairly new to this. Haven't been doing it all that long, about 2 months or so, I think. Oops, sorry. The video clip switched over and I almost I forgot to finish the voiceover here. I've been doing it for about 2 to 2.5 months, somewhere in there. So I'm still learning as well. I'm absolutely loving this, but I'm really happy to share anything I know with you guys. I've noticed a lot of times established artists who've been doing things for a long time don't want to share how they do what they do. And that's fine. I totally understand that because they're making money off of what they do. I have not yet started selling anything, so for me it doesn't really matter. I'm the kind of person that's not going to matter to me if I have a huge gallery of my own. I don't care how hard anybody tries, you will never ever ever be able to duplicate someone else's alcohol ink painting. These paintings are truly one of a kind, and there is nothing that you can do to replicate one other than run it through a scanner and print out prints of it. I don't mind at all. I do nothing that I feel like is proprietary to me. Everything I know I learned from watching other people, so I am more than happy to kind of pay it forward to you guys, and hope that it helps you all out, because this is just, it's amazing. It's a beautiful art form. It's a lot of fun. It's good for people who are raising children because you can stop every now and then and go deal with the kids, go fix supper, go do whatever you need to do, and just come back to it and put a little more alcohol on and reactivate your ink. If you haven't finished one part, if you have, just put a little more alcohol and ink down and keep on working. That's one of the things that I really love about this. We have 2 grandchildren that we're raising, 2 granddaughters. We have more grandchildren than that, but they are 8.5 and 9.5. and I'm frequently having to pause to take care of things with them. I also homeschool them, so there's times when I might have a few minutes in the morning to work on one, and then I'll have a few more minutes in the evening to work on one. It's hard to find long blocks of time when you've got kids in the house. It's although even if you don't, sometimes it's just hard to find those long blocks of time. So this is, it's a lot of fun, and anything that I can do or say or show you guys that's going to help you out, I'm more than happy to. Just let me know in the comments if there's something you'd like for me to do, especially like a little short tutorial on, and I would be more than happy to do it. Now, there's a couple of things that I have not tried yet. I have not tried to do those infinity rings and the little roses, the flower looking things that people are doing. I've not tried those. They're beautiful and I really like them, but I am just obsessed with this more freeform, flowing style. So I that's one thing I can't show you guys how to do, because I'm pretty sure I would just make a big old mess of it if I tried. But there are some really good videos out there teaching you how to do some of that stuff. I think it's Jeanette Vivo, Vivo, is her name. She has a few really good tutorials on how to do the roses or the infinity rings, things like that. She does some really good stuff. Alright, so on the painting here, I didn't like the way the metallic had turned out. The sections were just too big for me, so I went back in and put a little bit more just to kind of break up the big open spaces that were in there. And once again, that's just a matter of my personal taste on this painting. Some of them I would rather it had, a bigger, more open space in the center, kind of surrounded by the gold. But, excuse me, in this one I just wasn't real happy with the way it looked. So I just added a little more to it. And I think I just realized that I forgot to speed up this section of the painting. So you're getting this in real time right here. I had to stop during the painting to go take care of some of that kid stuff. And when I came back to it and restarted the video again, I forgot, when I was doing the editing, putting this together, I forgot to speed up this section of it a little bit to make it go by a little quicker. You'll see I tend to usually I will start in the center and blow my way out if I'm going to blow the metallic. I don't often do it from the end like that, and I'm right at the moment I don't remember why I did it that way this time, because that's really unusual for me. If I do it that way, generally I have a reason for doing it that way, but I have no idea at this point what it was. Sorry, my head gets right in your way there for a few minutes where you can't see what I'm doing. And there, I just kind of hit it with the dryer to, set it good before I move on to anything else, just to make sure nothing's going to shift around or move. Plus, sometimes it'll kind of push some of that back out to the edges again. Right there, I didn't like the way that was rounded so much. So I was trying to fix that right there and just kind of ended up making it look really weird and had to go back and fix it again because I really didn't like the way it looked. It's funny watching my own hands in this video while I'm tapping on the paper, and this is when I'm thinking, when I'm painting, I do that quite a bit. When I've laid everything down, I'm trying to figure out what to do next and where I want something to go. I have a really big tendency to tap my fingers on something. So I hope that this has not been too long for you guys. It's one reason I do like to kind of speed it up a little bit. It seems like you guys are going to get super bored watching a full real-time video. But I really, really appreciate you guys watching. It has meant so much to me. I love that you all are commenting and letting me know that you like this stuff. And I will be back with another one soon. I hope you enjoyed this one.